No. Come on, where is it?
Dave, it's your Idaho Central app here. Any chance you're missing a debit card? Let's get that taken care of for you. With ICCU's card control, you can turn any card off with the tap of your finger.
You got it.
And back on again. Out, 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 out. The closest Idaho Central Credit Union branch is in your pocket.
Pow day.
Dude, let's go.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Bronco Nation News Live from BroncoNationNews.com is presented by RowPaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics. All Bronco Nation news broadcasts come from the Western Collective Studios. Head down to Western Collective's locations in Garden City or downtown Boise to try some of their delicious beers, including the Horseshoe Golden Ale, the first beer to support an NIL collective. Now, here's four-time NSMA Idaho Sports Writer of the Year, BJ Rains, with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Happy Monday, Bronco Nation News, subscribers, followers, fans, haters, all of you. We're happy to have you here on a Monday edition of Bronco Nation News Live here at BroncoNationNews.com. Hope you had a great weekend. Mike Prater is here to help you kick it off, and we are excited for a full week here on Bronco Nation News Live as we get you set for the spring game coming up on Saturday. We'll have all kinds of coverage on BNN, all kinds of coverage throughout the week on KTIK. Going to talk to a couple coaches here in a little bit, Mike. I think at 11, we had Spencer Danielson on Saturday after scrimmage number 2. We're going to hear from him and talk about that, and a lot to get to, but appreciate KTIK's Mike Prater, host of Prater in the Ball Game, weekdays 3 to 6, does columns and things for us at Bronco Nation News, and every Monday starts off our week here together. Mike, appreciate you, man. How you doing?
What a rough week, or what a rough way for our listeners and our subscribers to wake up and have to deal with me on a Monday morning. Monday mornings are tough enough, but to have to deal with me and have to deal with you on a Monday morning, that's brutal. But the people that show up, the hardcores, we love you. And it's a Monday in the middle of the off season, but is it really off season around here? We got so many different things going on around here, BJ. We got lots to talk about today.
We do. And we're both wearing our BNN golf hats in honor of the Masters. I know I knew not to text you with questions about today's show between about 3 and 5 yesterday. It was quite the afternoon there on CBS watching the Masters unfold.
You know, I know golf's not for everybody, and I'll probably get laughed at for saying this, but it was one of the most intense, dramatic sporting events I've sat on my couch and watched in a long, long time. That includes football games, basketball, baseball games, hockey games, whatever. It was so intense and so dramatic. I'm a golf hardcore, and Masters just takes it to a whole nother level. That was a thing of beauty today. I'm going to my job today is to try to convince Johnny Ballgame later on this afternoon on Idaho Sports Talk to talk about golf for 3 consecutive hours, but that's probably not going to happen.
The last time I saw Johnny Ballgame on a golf course, he was playing in flip-flops. And
the last time you saw Johnny Ballgame on a golf course was the last time Johnny Ballgame was on a golf course.
Just remember, pull up to watch him tee off, and he's wearing flip-flops. And I was like, oh, wait, you never actually changed into shoes? He's like, no, this is what I'm in today. I'm like, oh, okay. And then he got offered $100 by his buddies at Shop Strange if he could outdrive the guy. And they literally laid $200 down on the grass next to his ball, and then he topped it about 5 yards.
I remember that video. That was a cruel video. That was really
called
cruel.
It the most intense sports moment of his life. $200 on the line for a golf shot, and he topped it. So, yeah, no. I bet Johnny was watching yesterday. I don't think there was any NBA. I mean, we know what I was watching for most of that, the Battlehawks game. But we flipped back and forth. It was a fun sports weekend. Both my kids had baseball tournaments all day Saturday, and then some games Sunday morning. But got back in time Sunday afternoon to watch the last 7 or 8 holes probably, and that was some great drama there. And yeah, the undefeated season for the Battlehawks is no more, Mike Prater. But they did announce that St. Louis is hosting the UFL championship game come June. So we will get the championship game there, and hopefully my Battlehawks will be in it.
Is that football?
All right, Monday's edition without Mike Prater will take place the rest of the show today. But no, I mostly kid. It was a great Sunday, great drama on the Masters. Good for Rory McIlroy when he missed that putt, and then you felt terrible, but he came back and got it done, and that was good stuff, fun stuff, and yeah, I hope everybody enjoyed their weekend, had a good time. We got the spring game on Saturday, Easter on Sunday this week, so a lot going on. And then I was already looking at my suitcase, which I'm still in the middle of unpacking, Mike Prater, from the Crown tournament and having to do laundry there, thinking, oh, I'm in a week or so, I've got to repack this again to head to Green Bay, Wisconsin, my first trip ever to Green Bay for coverage of the NFL draft and Ashton Genty. That will be a week from tomorrow. We will head out. So we have all spring game coverage this week and then all Ashton Genty talk next week. And Ahmed Hassanin in the draft. So as you said, it's the quote unquote off season here, but for the next couple of weeks, we're going to be pretty busy.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. This week is going to be spectacular in terms of, I can sit here and wax poetic about golf and everything, but for us, it does come down to football, and it's a local angle right here. One more week of spring ball, a couple of practices, a couple of press conferences, and then the spring game on Saturday afternoon. A lot's been solved. We've learned a lot so far this spring camp. We got a lot more to learn, and we're going to come out of spring camp on Saturday with the spring game with a lot more answers too. And I know we're going to address some of those today with some Spencer Danielson, and then we turn around next Monday and dive straight into one of the most historic NFL draft weeks in the state of Idaho history. Not only do we have Ashton Genty, the Coastal Loveland kid out of Gooding High School, the drama of who's going to be a first-round draft pick, the drama of quarterbacks once again nationally, and what kind of story that they're going to have. I think it's fantastic. So I'm really excited for you to go to Green Bay. I've been to Green Bay twice. I have a really close friend who's in the radio business and the newspaper business there in Green Bay, and I've gone to visit him a couple of different times. I've toured Lambeau Field twice in the middle of the summer with not a single human being anywhere near that stadium. So you're going to see a completely different environment. I know the draft's not inside the stadium, but it's going to serve as a backdrop. And Titletown, all the shops and restaurants and even houses, driveways, parking lots, all the stuff around the stadium right there. What a cool scene that's going to be. I'm jealous you get to do it. I love the fact that BNN makes this commitment every year, or when it makes sense to go to this NFL draft. I know you did it with Leighton Vander Esch, and kudos to you. And next week is going to be a fantastic week as well.
And I was doing some research last night, kind of making sure I had all my credential stuff done, and was kind of looking at the media schedule and everything for my timing, Mike Prater, last night. And I did see that it sounds like, and the wording's a little iffy, I'll have to confirm it. It looks like they call it the red carpet thing. It's kind of this new show that's before the draft, as all the prospects are arriving, as all the college coaches and special guests are arriving. And it's they literally, you can do interviews and stuff, TMZ style, as if they're showing up for the Grammys or the Oscars or whatever, and NFL Network will be live and all that. But based on what the understanding I got is that is actually going to be happening inside the stadium. So nice. The players may actually walk the red carpet inside of Lambeau Field, and then apparently some fans, whether it's free, whether they can pay a ticket, can actually be in the stands at Lambeau Field watching all these players walk by. So still figuring out the logistics, how that's going to work. I saw a picture of the stage going up out in the parking lot and all that. It is going to be massive, the whole NFL experience and all that. It's turned into a big-time event here, but there may actually be something, and Ashton Genty and these prospects may actually get to, and myself included, hopefully. It was weird, Mike Prater. You had to put in 2 separate credential requests. I put in one for Radio Row to do a have a spot to broadcast, maybe do some shows and stuff. And then I felt like a TMZ reporter, whatever, I had to put in for the red carpet special credential to have a spot on the red carpet for this, to maybe grab some video and interviews as people are walking by. But we'll see how it works out. But it sounds like that part of it may actually be inside the stadium.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I was wondering about that because they need to take advantage of the stadium somehow, some way, more than just a backdrop in the visuals, the drone shots of an empty Lambeau. That's ridiculous. So to get that sucker, a part of that, where you tape, curtain it off and do one corner and do a red carpet and sell 10,000 tickets and make it look like it's festive and cool. That's really smart. So that is such an iconic place and such great memories there. I know it's not Partyville, USA. It's not Vegas. It's not some of these other sexy destinations that these NFL guys have gone to, but it's certainly an NFL city worthy of this kind of attention. Ashton Genty is worthy of this kind of attention. Hassinin is worthy of this kind of attention. I think it's really, really cool. This is going to be a great week with spring ball and a little bit of Ashton Genty talk. And next week, it's going to be Ashton Genty, Ashton Genty, Ashton Genty. It's a special 2 weeks around here, and we're here for you. We're here for you. We're going to have some fun, and we're going to get after it pretty hard for a couple of weeks.
No doubt about it, Mike. And yeah, we'll Ashton Genty will dominate next week, but we do want to spend this week, and it's been here at BNN too with covering basketball and stuff the last couple of weeks. It's been maybe not as hardcore typically as is the spring game with basketball still going on, but this week is all football all week here on BNN, getting you set for the spring game on Saturday. I do want to mention one note. You guys had me on Friday, and I hadn't done my homework correctly in one aspect, Mike Prater, with Spencer Aarons. You had asked me if there was any concern of him not signing yet. And the fact that there was a crystal ball of him going, I believe, to Illinois 100% on there. I as soon as we got done, did make a quick phone call or two. And I guess I'd forgotten that when he signed, it was after the fall signing day. So he actually technically hasn't even signed with Boise State, but it wasn't because he was holding out or was waiting for a better offer. He just literally can't sign till Wednesday. This Wednesday is National Signing Day, and Spencer Aarons, I actually talked to him. We have an interview set up for Wednesday on BNN or Thursday.
Nice.
We're going to work out the logistics, but Spencer is 100% locked in. He will sign on Wednesday and make it official. The only reason he hasn't signed yet is because he physically can't sign yet until Wednesday's signing day. Some of the other guys signed in the November signing period, but he committed after that window had closed, and he's locked in, and that crystal ball for Illinois was like from November or whatever, and just wasn't updated once he committed to Boise State. So there's no concern there. He's locked and loaded. And the point guard, high school prep point guard, it sounds like that, it's been kind of quiet. You and I have been talking about it a little bit. I know fans are really familiar with him, but there'll be some more news coming out. But it sounds like very positive developments there as well. Boise State could announce, likely will announce 2 signings, Spencer Aarons, and then also a high school point guard that has some international roots, and his story will come more public this week. But full steam ahead. Basketball team Mike Prater should get 2 more additions on Wednesday, and then I believe Thursday. Sounds like, I don't think I'm speaking out of turn here, but it sounds like they've gotten it approved. And you may have heard this, I don't know, but the Dylan Andrews, the prep kid that's coming in from to visit, the transfer from UCLA. My understanding is all the paperwork and things are in good shape there. They're just waiting for him to come visit. But it sounds like if all goes smoothly, that they've gotten it approved to do some media interviews and stuff while he's in town on his visit. So once he signs all the paperwork that is needed and he is locked and loaded, we're actually going to get some media opportunity with Dylan Andrews, like right when he's on campus, right after hopefully signing his paperwork. I mean, that's going to be kind of cool. But I know it's all football, but it is good news ahead here for the basketball team as well.
Yeah, that is good news, and that kind of tidies up a few pieces of loose end that we've been talking about, and it sounds like it's all going to come together. You're going to like this story, BJ, because your relationship with them. I went to the Idaho Youth Sports Commission fundraising dinner on Saturday night. I know you've been a part of that. The golf tournament's been a part of that, a benefactor of a big fat check from Bronco Nation News, and Tim Brady says hi. But, as I was walking around kind of shaking hands, kissing babies, and working the room, Dirk Cutter and Bart Hendricks were the main speakers at this. And usually when you show up at something like this or one of these functions, everybody wants to know what's going on with Sire Gains, what's going on, who's going to replace Ashton Genty, how's Maddox Madsen looking. I talked to 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people, and everybody kept talking about, wow, Leon Rice and what he's done with this roster. They all wanted to talk about how Leon Rice had himself, for one of the rare times, and it's hard in college basketball to finish a season on a good note. Only so many teams do. And we all agreed that Boise State finished the season on a positive note. Yeah, they didn't win the Crown Tournament, but for the first time in a long time, maybe the first time ever, they finished the season on a positive note, and that was a really nice piece of momentum for this program. But then everybody was asking about or complimenting Leon on some of the roster moves that he's made already. He came out of the chute right off the bat in the offseason and picked up a couple players, created some signings. I know the Drew Fielder kid out of Georgetown created a lot of buzz. Everybody kind of wanted to know about him on Saturday night. So, this is football. This is a football town. I'm a football guy. You're a little bit of both. But at the end of the day, this is the offseason going into spring camp for football. And people are still talking about basketball because of the moves that Leon Rice is making. Usually this time of year, it's beat up Leon Rice season. It's not even close to that anymore. So I think he's turned the corner on this program and the momentum that he's looking for. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's really, really cool. And we'll see how that shakes out. But that's good news that he's kind of shoring up some of those loose details.
Yeah, it was really disappointing I couldn't make that event, the Idaho Youth Sports Commission. We had my son's baseball tournament Saturday night, but I've been to that thing the last 3 or 4 years. Always a lot of fun. I think last year you sat at the BNN table, I believe, and so I don't know who else was nice enough to give you a spot. You snuck in somehow, but always a fun time. I did miss
for this one.
I did miss going this year, and yeah, they're the beneficiaries of our golf tournament, so we always go and have a good time there. But what were the any whether it was Leon or who, anybody wearing any good jerseys? I mean, that's part of the event is you have to wear a jersey. I know in the past, Leon has wore his son's. Did he have one of his sons, overseas Australian jerseys back yet, or what was he wearing?
I didn't see Leon there. He may have been there. I know Maddox Madsen was there, but I didn't see him either. There was about 450 people in this giant downtown ballroom, and it was pretty cool. Yeah. Dirk Cutter is the only one who didn't show up in a jersey. He was the keynote speaker and felt obligated to put on a suit jacket, so he looked very formal. My favorite one of the night, though, was Bart Hendricks was going to introduce Dirk Cutter. And Bart Hendricks, and if you go back to the linebacker situation and even a little bit of a fullback running back in the NFL, Brian Johnson out of Eastern Idaho, great legendary Boise State football player. Brian Johnson and Bart Hendricks were tight buddies. I think they may have even been roommates when they played here at Boise State. Bart Hendricks showed up wearing Brian Johnson's Washington Redskins jersey, and Brian Johnson showed up wearing Bart Hendricks's old-time jersey, and I thought it was pretty cool that those two kind of switched, and they sat at the same table and loved it up a little bit and had some fun. I thought that was a pretty cool moment. But, yeah, all kinds of other crazy fun stuff and jerseys. I didn't see anything that really stood out or anybody that kind of caught me off guard. I did wear a Boise State jersey for like only the third time in public that I've shown up in Boise State gear. So I had a soft moment, and it's been a special year. It's been a fun year, and I just kind of felt overly indebted to what Boise State provides us. And I tossed on a Boise State jersey and took a lot of beating for that myself.
Of all the years to not go and to not get a picture of Mike Prater in a Boise State jersey. Oh, there's got to be photo evidence out there somewhere. Please tell me.
I hope not. I worked really hard to make sure that information didn't leave the room, but at the time, and I got some crap, and it's a jersey that's got some stories that I probably shouldn't share in public, but it was a cool night. So your name and Bronco Nation News was proudly represented in the program. I thought that was pretty cool based on the history, and I had a couple people bring that up, and I really enjoyed that. So Tim Brady and Kelly Brady and that whole crew did a fantastic job. And when I say the whole crew, I'm talking about a massive amount of people that put together, and they raised a lot of money, and it's pretty cool. So I enjoyed it, and we'll get back together and share our table again next year, BJ.
Yeah, I thought it was weird that this is the first time ever they had asked you to sign an NDA or something when you walked in, and now we know why. Mike Prater wearing a Boise State jersey, no photos allowed. But no, always a fun night to mingle with players and coaches and boosters and big community leaders and things. Always a fun time, and I really was sad that I wasn't able to make it this year. Me and Johnny went my first year was out at the airplane hangar at the airport, and they had Drew Bledsoe speak that year, and that was a fun one. And there's been then they moved it downtown, and anybody that next year you missed out. It's a great event. You get to mingle with some, like I said, some pretty cool people and get pictures and autographs. And it's one of those rare events where it's a night out and you're supposed to get all dressed up, get childcare, whatever. And then you're supposed to wear like a sports jersey. And so it's kind of a fun, adults having fun. And I'm sad that we missed it, but Tim will be out at our golf tournament, and we'll be raising money for them again, and happy with our partnership with the golf tournament. And we have a donation for them as well from the raffle we did for the crown giveaway. So appreciate Tim and everybody there. And sad we couldn't make it, but happy to hear it was a great event and a success. I was watching Wish I would have been there, Mike Prater, not watching my kid walk everybody in the building in our baseball game.
Ouch.
Tough time finding the strike zone there. Maybe he thought would have rather been at that event also. But no, we had a fun weekend of baseball, but sad I missed it. But in between games on Saturday, Mike Prater, as we 21 minutes in get to our first topic of the show, in between games on Saturday for my kids' baseball tournament, I made it down in time to speak with Spencer Danielson at the after the second spring scrimmage of the spring. They have the couple scrimmages and then the spring game on Saturday, but some Spencer Danielson talks for more than 20 minutes after the spring scrimmage on Saturday. Some great updates and thoughts going into the final week here before the spring game, and I want to hit on a couple of those. But first, let's thank a couple sponsors here first, Mike, that help make this show free of charge for folks watching on social media, including YouTube, Facebook, X, the Bronco Nation news channels, and the KTIK channels today. And you're watching this for free thanks to our sponsors, including our title sponsor, RowPaint.com. Andy Rowe and company, appreciate him. Their support of Bronco Nation News. All your painting needs, whether it's those concrete coatings, interior, exterior painting, they got you covered. Make sure you hit up our title sponsor, and they'll give you a great deal. Let them know you heard about it on BNN, and they'll hook you up with their lowest possible price. That's at RowPaint.com. TacoBellWorks.com, the SOM Management Group, the Nicolason family. We appreciate Taco Bell for their support of Bronco Nation News as well. If you're looking for a job, they're hiring, and they can help you out there. It's just TacoBellWorks.com has the website, but also just go into any of the local Treasure Valley Taco Bell locations. They got the paperwork right there when you walk in, but free food while you work, up to half your wages the next day after your shift, so you don't have to wait 3 weeks for that first paycheck, and a lot of great promotional opportunities. And, oh, yeah, the food's pretty darn good as well. The Cantina Bowls, the Lux Cravings boxes. You're looking for a great meal for the family or even a job, think about a Treasure Valley Taco Bell location. Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. They're big supporters of Tim Brady and the Idaho Youth Sports Commission. We appreciate Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. There's a branch pretty much on every corner, but the easiest is that mobile e-branch online banking right there in your smartphone. Idaho Central Credit Union. Make sure you hit them up, ICCU.com. Hey, Jackson's has the $5 meal deal going on right now. If you missed the Riley and Ridge show last week presented by Jackson's, you're not going to want to miss this week. We're working on the exact date, but they got some great guests, including Mike, our friend Khalil Shakir, John Bates as well. They got some former players that I know have been on KTIK that they're going to get in the fold here for getting ready for the spring game on the Riley and Ridge show presented by Jackson. So stay tuned for that this week. And 99-cent coffee at Jackson's anytime, day or night, using your Let's Go Rewards app. Hey, the SpaTeam.com, Snake River Pool and Spa, Twin Falls, Boise, Meridian, Nampa. They've been around since 1978. They're part of the Boise State home team. If you're looking for a sauna, you're looking for a spa, maybe a pool table for the game room, they got you covered at Snake River Pool and Spa, Patio, and Game. Check them out online at thespateam.com. All right, Mike, a lot of different topics I want to get to here in the next 20, 25 minutes or so. First of all, we are doing kind of a 5-part series here at BNN. Nathan Carroll has articles going up once a day this week. 5 topics, 5 storylines, 5 things for fans to watch or know about going into the spring game on Saturday. And we'll kind of piggyback that and talk about that here at Bronco Nation News. And today's topic is the wide receivers. Obviously losing Cam Camper, losing Prince Strawn, and then this spring, as you're going to hear in this clip here, a couple of guys have been out injured this spring in the wide receiver group as well. So not a lot of depth there. And as you see, they've still been offering transfer wide receivers from Division II, from junior college. It looks like, Mike Prater, that at least to this point, they're not fully satisfied with what they're seeing at the wide receiver group because they're still trying to maybe add to that group. But before I play the clip, just your initial thoughts, the wide receivers this spring, the wide receiver group, and the depth and just the overall confidence level there going into 2025 as it stands right now.
Yeah, the debate I keep having in my own head is, do you want a wide receiver 1 superstar or are you okay by committee? And you know, usually the answer is both. You want a wide receiver 1 and you definitely want a support role behind that. And I know the media gets caught up in labels sometimes, like who's your best wide receiver? Who's going to be the alpha male in the wide receiver room? And you know, an offensive coordinator or a head coach are going to say, well, I just want to spread the ball. I want all kinds of weapons. And that's what they got right now. They don't have a wide receiver 1, and I'm really a little bit worried about that. But I don't think that that's a big deal. I mean, the 3, 4, 5 dudes that they have are going to be spectacular, I think. Chris Marshall, I think he's got an upside that I can't wait to see how that develops, but there's also a slippery side that you never know what's going to happen. Cameron Bates, to me, is going to be a slot receiver superstar before he leaves this program. I fall in love with that dude, not only as a football player, but the way he carries himself and kind of what he represents. Got to know him a little bit during spring camp, and he's spectacular. And then you got the old standbys, but the old standbys are kind of like beating up old men. Latrell Caples, they're taking care of him, being really delicate with him in spring ball. But he's the old man senior of the group, and he needs to stand up and be accounted for. And he's really been nowhere to be found in the spring. Austin Bolt, nowhere to be found. He's had some nice practices, but for every practice that he has nice, he stands on the sideline for the next one. That's probably by design, and it's probably maintenance, and it probably makes a lot of sense. So again, I'm not too worried about the wide receiver room. I think there's plenty of depth. I think there's some good players. There just isn't an alpha wide receiver one. And I'm not sure you need that. It's kind of fun to have that headline guy. And Spencer Danielson's going to definitely go out and chase a guy. But anybody he chases at this point is just going to add to the list. It ain't going to be wide receiver one. I think that's okay, but it's certainly a storyline going into fall camp.
Here's Spencer Danielson after Saturday's spring scrimmage on the wide receivers.
The guys that are going through spring ball right now, BJ, have done a really good job. Latrell's not going through spring ball due to some injuries. Chris has been out for a while, was always battling some soft tissue stuff. Austin Bolt did a really good job to start spring ball. Then we're working through some injury stuff with him too. All these guys will be fine for summer, right? So we have no concerns at all with season. But even building off last season, right? Our pass game is going to take a jump. That's going to happen. And I got to make sure as the head coach that we have everything we need. Right? Yes, that starts with our team first. It always will here. We're all about building our players and putting our best players in the right situations. But then I also got to be open to see if there's guys out there that fit this place that can help us from a talent level and a culture level come in. So receivers, a position that we are recruiting to find the right fit here.
Well, Mike, I was going to do this one later on. We might as well go right to it then. One of the guys apparently that's been, at least in practice, getting a few looks at wide receiver is Tai Benfield, the starting safety and all Mountain West, caliber safety, someone that we think right now is maybe the most important player to this entire defense, one of the stars of this team. Apparently in Thursday's practice, as you're going to hear in a minute, we were at practice. There's embargoed periods. There's things we're not supposed to say. We may have saw this on Thursday, but had to keep it quiet. And then Spencer Danielson was asked about Tai Benfield, went out of his way to mention the wide receiver part. I don't know right now if it's just a fun spring storyline. That's what I would probably guess it is. Mike Prater, just a day or two in spring, something fun. They're short a guy, put him over there, let him catch a couple passes. I don't know, but he was asked, as you're going to hear, is this something that could actually happen where he's a two-way player next year? And he said, I'm not ruling anything out at this point. So I don't know how serious this is, but Tai Benfield, your thoughts hearing that he actually in practice played wide receiver?
So Boise State football was indeed inspired by Travis Hunter and Shadir Sanders and the Colorado boys and this little fun attempt with Dion to play both sides of the ball. That's a little bit of a joke. I love it. I love it. And first of all, it makes things fun. I would imagine he's not doing it unless he would want to do it. If you can go over there and see the other side of the ball, that's only going to make him better as he plays the defense. And if you can sneak him in, again, he's not going to be the wide receiver one that I'm looking for, the alpha male in the wide receiver room. But if he could pop over there every now and then, create a couple of plays. Now, I do worry about the depth in the safety room. I worry about depth everywhere on this football team. I did a segment. Johnny and I did a segment on Idaho Sports Talk last week. I think almost every starter is accounted for. And not that they look at it that way down there at Boise State, but I keep a seating chart, and I think every position has a legitimate starter. But most positions don't have any legitimate backup, and there's not even many backups behind Tai Benfield right now. So I certainly don't want him to get hurt. I want him to be careful. They're going to be smart. They're going to be responsible. But heck yeah, bring it on. And if it just dabbling in the spring and then maybe dabbling a little bit in the fall and creating a little fun atmosphere, but then turning it into something serious, maybe a play here, a play there during the season, bring it on. I love that.
Here's Spencer Danielson talking about Tai Benfield.
Tai is such an elite competitor. He loves football, and everything he does is about growing to be the best version of himself. So even a guy going into his sophomore year last year, we put a lot on our safeties, and he did a great job executing in all situations. And now even seeing him, even obviously through spring ball, him taking his game to the next level. We even had a couple plays on offense for him the other day, just because he's that type of football player. We had some receivers out, and it's like, hey, Tai, Go out there and catch a couple passes. So he's just that guy for us. Is that going to turn in anything or not? We're going to continue to walk that path. But I'll tell you what, Tai Benfield's a leader on this team. He loves this team. And how his play, I mean, last scrimmage, he played at a level that I haven't even seen him play at yet. And so it's cool just to see him continue to grow.
I'm curious with Tai, is that a guy that came to you and was like, hey, let me try this? Are you
No.
guys pushing his limits?
Yep.
Like what?
No, I called him Sunday last week after our scrimmage, knowing that there's a couple receivers going to be out. I know what type of athlete he is. I watched him in high school do it. And spring ball is the time to kind of put guys in those situations, see what they can do. And he had a big-time catch on I think it was Thursday's practice when he was out there. So he's that type of competitor. This is the time for us to make some moves, create some packages to see. Because when we leave spring ball, I need to be open and honest with our players. This is how we see your role going in the summertime. Doesn't mean someone can change that when we get into fall camp, good or bad, but I believe in truth. I believe in telling these players, this is exactly where you are out on the team. Not, yeah, everything's good, man, or the other way. Like I tell her, we have to be direct with our players, exactly where they're out in the depth chart leaving spring ball, what they need to do to maybe change that, and no different for some of our best players. Like how can we even create more situations to get our best guys on the field in all three phases?
Obviously, it'll probably be something you decide in the summer, but
Yep.
Is there a chance you could see him as a two-way player next season?
No, we'll see. Yeah, we're gonna keep going through it. There might be other guys on our team. Mason Randolph messed with me the other day about playing D-line. I said, hey, don't tempt me with a good time. So I promise you that, hey, we've only begun to get this thing going.
So obviously, I'm guessing just a fun spring storyline here. I would be kind of surprised personally, Mike Prater, if we, because of his importance to defense, if we end up seeing Tai Benfield at wide receiver in a game in the fall. But as Logan says, and as you said, tie for Heisman, calling it now, and then he said hashtag snaps matter.
I love it. Love it. Let's bring that over here and make it, the cool thing about this, and you're probably right, it's more of a fun spring storyline than anything else. But man, when you hear Spencer Danielson talking about Caples, he's hurt. Bolt, he's hurt. Marshall, he's hurt. And he said it's no cause for concern. I would disagree with that. It may not be cause for concern right now based on, as we sit here today, but you look at Austin Bolt, and he's had an entire career of being hurt. You look at Latrell Caples, he has an entire career of kind of being up and down. You look at Chris Marshall, hasn't even had a chance to have his entire career here yet because he can't even get his ass on the field right now. So if those three, if one of those, two of those, Lord knows all three of those guys don't pan out because of injuries or other thing, you definitely have some wide receiver depth. He might be, I'm going to consider him, the starting free safety and maybe an emergency wide receiver, just getting him some snaps in case you need a body later on this year.
Speaking of injuries, there was an update on Sire Gains. We'll get to Sire Gains, the running back situation, in just a second. I do want to thank the Blue and Orange Store and the blueandorangestore.com. Online, you can order Boise State gear anywhere in the world at the blueandorangestore.com. If you're in the area, just go to the Boise Town Square Mall, second floor, next to Pro Image there. They got some great deals. That clearance rack at the front of the store is the best value in town. Great coaches sideline apparel, jerseys, caps. I mean, I know there's a lot of spots around town to buy your Boise State gear, but if you want the best selection, the best prices, and you want to help someone like Travis Hawks and company who is stepping up in the NIL game and the donations to Boise State, the Blue and Orange Store is where it's at, the blueandorangestore.com. Same deal for Lithia Ford of Boise. Jim Sturk and company, they put a ton of money into NIL deals, providing kids with vehicles, student athletes with vehicles, coaches, administrators. You see the Ford logo all over Albertson Stadium. So return the favor, folks, to one of the biggest supporters of Boise State athletics, one of the biggest supporters of Bronco Nation News. Next time you're looking for that car or truck, make it at Lithia Ford of Boise, and you can just go online, view their full inventory at lithiafordboise.com. Matt Bauscher, we got a nice little segment here of big BSU supporters. Matt Bauscher, Bauscher Real Estate, same deal with Matt. Stepped up as part of the Boise State home team. He's stepped up in the NIL game as well on the basketball side and taking care of a lot of guys. And he's ready to do the same for you. If you buy or sell a home with Matt and his team, you get to meet everybody in the photo there. The first-class service, unmatched. I was talking to Abe Jackson. Matt had been taking him around to show him some homes, and he's very impressed with the customer service, the personal attention to detail. And no home is too big or too small. Everyone thinks it's these $1 million homes, and yeah, Matt can help you with those, but he is ready to help you with any size home you're looking for. If you're looking to sell, buy, Matt Bauscher, Bauscher Real Estate. Hit him up online at BauscherRealEstate.com. All right, Prater, Sire Gains, another guy that we have heard about. Injury updates, Sire Gains, his status. We've been, again, stuff we can say, can't say when it comes to practice. But, my kind of follow-up to this, we'll hear the initial comment, but I wanted to know, any kind of concern for the season here? And also, like, what kind of happened? Because we were told he was pretty close to playing in the Fiesta Bowl and would have played had they won the next game. And now it's apparently the same injury and he's still out. What is going on there with Sire Gains? I've been a little confused, I guess. So here's a quick give and take, 90 seconds or so on the update, the status of Sire Gains.
Hopes that he would be ready for spring ball. Obviously, he's a huge part of our team, but the injury is still something that he's not 100% cleared. Our hope is that he'll be ready to go full go in June when we get back to summer training, and that he can do everything with the team. Garrett Hawley's done a phenomenal job with him, our head athletic trainer, but right now he's still not cleared to practice. So he's close, he's getting there, but we need him to be full go in June.
Did something change, or originally you guys had said
Yep.
he would have played if he would have won the Fiesta Bowl?
Yeah, it's one of those things with that injury and what it was, because we were like, he was there. Just like anything, there can be some setbacks with something like this. Like he was able to do some winter conditioning, wasn't quite where we had him at, so we had to pull back some stuff. He was getting close. So Cy is such a competitor. He loves football. So, and that's what makes him special. We're in his life to kind of pull, say, hey man, we got to be smart in these situations, because if Cy goes out to practice, he's not that guy that's like, all right, I'm going to take it easy. He is going to be game on the line, speed and everything he does. So we got to be smart with him and how he does it. And so we've walked that path. And I know it's frustrating for him, and we obviously want him out there, but we are going to be smart with him to make sure when he is full go, he is ready for that with his leg.
Is that something you're at all concerned about lingering into the season?
I'm not. No. I'm not. Like we're being smart with him. But he is not cleared to practice. It's not like it's something where he's cleared and we're just like, hey, we don't want to risk it. He's not cleared yet. And I have full trust in our athletic training staff, but I am not concerned one bit about it lingering for season.
So he says he's not concerned there, Mike Prater, but yet still not cleared. And the hope is that he'll be back in June. But I mean, it's still nothing concrete there on Sire Gains. BSU Bill on here saying that says it happened playing basketball at the rec center. Buddy of mine saw it happen in real time. Said he was super upset. I hate to post YouTube messages here, but we don't know anything about that, if he was playing basketball or not. But I mean, there's people saying that may have contributed to it at the rec center. I don't know, but. Either way, you hope that's not the case, by the way, if he can't practice for football and he's out there playing basketball at the rec center. But either way, Sire Gains and the importance he has to this team, where this is going to lead into the Malik Sherrod talk here in a second. But just your thoughts on where he's at physically and any concern about this for the season.
Hell yeah, I got some concerns. And Spencer Danielson does it. And Spencer Danielson is saying and doing all the right things. And I'm not going to sit here and go on my little soapbox and pretend that things are okay. And things might be okay in terms of when they line up on August 28th and start playing football, he might be just perfectly fine. I went back and looked at his high school because I had some concerns that maybe this guy's a little soft, not in terms of the way he plays, but the way his body reacts. Sometimes you don't have control over a body that kind of has an injury-prone issues. In high school, the dude was massively productive. As best as I could tell, he only missed 1 or 2 games in all of high school. He played on both sides of the football and was very, very productive in high school. So I don't think it's a reputation. This might be an isolated injury, but the concerns do concern me more than what Spencer Danielson is saying. I think this even goes back as far as maybe the Mountain West. We keep talking about that he could have been ready for the Fiesta Bowl or another game if they'd have won the Fiesta Bowl, but they were kind of dropping those hints going into the Mountain West championship game, maybe in October or November. Oh, maybe there's a chance we get Sire Gains back if we get into a Mountain West championship game situation, and then certainly a late month bowl game. And here we are still dealing with whether it's soft tissue, it's that ankle. We know he had an ankle surgery. High ankle sprain is what the official injury was with the surgery. Those can be really, really pesky, but his body, the way he hasn't responded, is scaring to me. And the fact that we hope, and that was Spencer's phrase, we hope that he can be cleared to play in June. That's not really a black and white deal yet. So I do have concerns about Sire Gains and his availability. There's some comfort level in this running back room. I know you said we're going to talk about Malik and a couple of other players. I think Boise State football can be just fine without Sire Gains, but certainly if Sire Gains comes on and takes and is healthy and takes his football offense to another level, that's something that they need. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of expectations, a lot of hype around Sire Gains, but he's played in 2-3 games, and then that was it, for his career to this point. And so, yeah, it was one injury. It's reoccurring. You hope it's not, we're not labeling him, as some soft injury-prone guy. But, I mean, at some point here, the fact that we keep getting told he's going to be back soon, no worries, and that timeline keeps getting pushed back or extended. certainly is some reason to worry. And I think when they brought Malik Sherrod in, he was primarily going to be their kick returner, their punt returner, which I don't know if it's in this clip or not. We're going to hear, but Spencer Danielson does say right now the kick returner, punt returner is going to be Malik Sherrod. Other guys will still compete, but they've pretty much given him the starting job already for kick returner and punt returner, Malik Sherrod. And I think that was the main reason he was brought in. And then, use him some situations. He'd be a depth guy at running back. They like what they have with Dubar and Riley and Gaines, but I think he's done enough at the running back position combined with Gaines being out and Breezy being out maybe at times then now I think Sherrod's got a chance to be, right near the top of the depth chart at running back as well going into the season. So here's Spencer Danielson on Fresno State transfer Malik Sherrod.
Explosive player. I mean, going against him, knew that, but even seeing him in person. And you talk about a guy that there's not been one issue with him since he's come here. And what I mean by that is he fit right into our culture. It wasn't like, all right, Malik, let's talk more. Like, he bought into what we're doing. Even as an older guy, he bought in completely to what we're doing here. And he's been explosive since day one, right? How he preps, how he studies, and he had another big-time day today. He's got a really good edge about himself that I like. Like, he's that competitor he's got that mentality that you love to be around, and he's elevated even those other guys in their room, especially with Cy out, still due to injury. Man, he's continued to bring Dylan Breezy along with him, and it's been cool to see that edge he brings. But he's an explosive player, man. He's also going to be, without something changing, I mean, right now he's going to be probably our punt returner, kickoff returner, depending how things shake out. We're going to still compete for it, but he's doing a really good job, and I'm proud of a guy that has been somewhere else that comes here and that quickly immerses to our culture, because we do things very different here.
You guys got Sherrod. I mean, was it mainly, hey, kick returner, punt returner, we need him for that, and we'll see where he fits in at running back?
Yeah.
Or has he done more, maybe because Sire's been out or whatever, just in terms of showing you guys that he needs to be in that mix at running back too?
He's definitely shown us that he needs to be in the mix, BJ. Knew a lot about him. Obviously Coach J-Mo recruited him to Fresno State, coached him, so we knew a lot about it. And then going against him, we knew what type of running back he was and what type of kickoff returner. But we felt still really good about the running backs we had coming back. But just like anything, that is a premium position for us. What we do offensively, that is a premium position. And so we got to continue to find the guys that continue to push that needle. And Malik Sherrod's done that. So not only what he's going to do as a kickoff punt returner, he's going to have a huge role on offense too.
I'll tell you what, Mike, when we all heard the news, hey, Malik Sherrod coming into Boise State, it was kind of like, oh, it's an interesting fit. They already have Gaines, they have Dubar, they have Riley. Like, you feel really good about the running back room. Why would I was kind of like, why would Malik Sherrod want to come here, frankly? But I think it started as you can be the kick returner, punt returner. We'll find you a role on offense, and I don't know if it's just because of Gaines being out or him doing his thing on offense or what, but it certainly sounds like Malik Sherrod's going to be in the mix at running back. And with the uncertainty about some of these other guys, Dubar was hurt some last year. We mentioned Gaines, like Riley was only a true freshman last year. Like, this may have been one of the bigger pickups in the Mountain West this offseason, frankly. A guy like Malik Sherrod coming in, who sounds like has just been everything they had hoped for and more. A massive addition that's going to sound like play dividends in the return game, but also at running back.
He's probably on a consistent basis from spring camp practice number 1 to spring camp practice number whatever we are, 12 or 13 right now, maybe 11, 12. He's by far been the most dominant, most consistent player in spring ball. He's the most valuable player in spring ball, if you ask me, offensively or defensively. There's other players that have had consistently great performances, but Malik Sherrod, every time we show up to practice, is showing his moves and being dynamic and looking spectacular. And yeah, we probably should be surprised, but BJ, it comes down to one thing and one thing only. It obviously takes 4 running backs to replace Ashton Genty, and they knew that. Give this coaching staff some credit. We're replacing Ashton Genty. We need 4, maybe 5, maybe 6 of them, and hopefully collectively these guys can do what Ashton Genty did. That's somewhat of a joke, but not really. It's going to take an awful lot to replace that kind of production, and I would guess that it's probably more by committee this year. But if they had to line up and play a football game right now, Malik Sherrod is your number 1 running back. There's no doubt about that to me, anyway.
I think Sherrod and Cam Bates have been the 2 stories offensively for this team in camp, and we'll see if that projects this week into the spring game on Saturday. One quick final topic I want to get a quick thought on from you, Mike, in just a second before we get out of here. But Ridley's Family Markets, shopridleys.com, 13 locations in the state of Idaho, surrounding states. You can check them out, shopridleys.com. Download their Skip app. Get savings up to 40% off at the checkout line. You want that hometown grocery store feel? Hit up our friends at Ridley's family markets. Hey, if you're looking for a job, Transportation Compliance Service is hiring. Local company helping out folks all over the world. Transportation Compliance Service, all the paperwork and things you need to get in, out there towing that first load in no time. They can help you out. Get more information online, transcomservice.com. Just made our Lean Feast order for the week this morning, Mike Prater. Leanfeastmeridian.com. Healthy eating options, whether it's steak, shrimp, chicken, fish. I ordered some of the garlic parm chicken, the cauliflower rice, the broccoli, and you pop it in the microwave for 2 minutes, and you're eating like a king, and it's good in your refrigerator for 5 days. They deliver as well, so there's no excuse to not eat healthy anymore. Get more information online, leanfeastmeridian.com. We did announce we got to get it approved by Cody Gogler and everybody else over there, Mike, but we did, Signature Roofing wants the RJ Keene show to take over for the Tyson Degenhart show here, so we're going to try to make that happen moving forward here. Signature Roofing, online at mysignatureroofing.com. They've been covering our community for more than 2 decades, whether it's a re-roof, a repair, an estimate, an inspection. MySignatureRoofing.com has you covered. And again, they're sponsor of our voice inbox line. So if you want to leave us a voicemail, if the YouTube chat doesn't allow you to get your point across, leave us a voicemail online, speakpipe.com/BNN, and we'll play that on an upcoming Bronco Nation News show. All right, Mike, one final quick topic I wanted to bring up here is it did get announced. We don't have a time yet, but the Boise State Notre Dame game is going to air on Peacock. Notre Dame has their deal with NBC. One game exclusively a year goes on Peacock, and for the second year in a row, Boise State's kind of marquee non-conference road game that could have landed in a very good chance on national NBC. I'm sure our boy Jay Tuss is struggling with this one. It's going to go to Peacock after the Oregon game last year, and I know locally, Boise State fans, like, you'll find a way to watch the game, whether it's at a bar, whether it's on your thing. Like, I'm not. It's not really a big hit for Boise State fans, Mike. But nationally, the ratings that Boise State football would have got on national NBC versus Peacock, certainly disappointing to hear this news come out over the weekend.
Yeah, I agree with that. And this isn't going to be about should you spend the $6.99 because you can get whatever. There's so many different ways to do it now. Free trials. I'm not worried about it. Plenty of advance notice. And if we're still out here to the point where consumers are still ragging and complaining about football games or sporting events being on pay-per-view services, it's the avalanche, and keep getting used to it because it's going to happen. The timing of this one's a little bit unfortunate because of the potential out there for an NBC broadcast. That would have been pretty darn cool. And I don't know what other games are being played that day, but yeah, it's a little bit of a hit. But as soon as I saw it, I could see the collective Boise State fan groaning and moaning and saying, here we go again. But you know what? It'll be just fine. You'll be able to find it. You can afford $6 or whatever it is, or in many cases free, or most of us to this point even have Peacock now. So this is the way it is. This is the way the sports is. And things like Sports Center one day will be all the cart and you have to pay for it. We're just kind of tipping this iceberg. But yeah, for the chance and the opportunity for this program to continue to build its national brand, that would have been nice, an NBC national broadcast. But hey, it's okay. It's all good. Boise State's playing Notre Dame at Notre Dame. That was one of the big things we talked about at the Idaho Youth Sports Commission meeting on Saturday. There was even an auction item giving fans away, and there was a lot of buzz about that Notre Dame game, and there will continue to be a lot of buzz about that Notre Dame. Simple little news like this, I'm not going to get too wrapped up in it anymore. Yeah, just for the casual fan flipping their TV on a Saturday, though, you're not going to find this game now, which does kind of stink. Yeah, I get it. I mean, it definitely takes a national hit. It definitely does, but Boise State playing at Notre Dame is good enough for me. The headline itself, the opportunity to go play there and play that football game, I think it's pretty cool. Well, Mike, I know you guys will be all over Spencer Danielson's press conference from Saturday as well. We're talking, I believe, to Matt Miller and Tim Keene coming up in about an hour and 10 minutes as well at 11 o'clock. So plenty of football talk, Masters talk, and I'm sure you guys will be all over it 3 to 6 today, Idaho Sports Talk. Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be about a whole bunch of spring camp stuff, getting ready about it. We're going to talk a little bit about the Masters, and but we're going to get you ready for spring camp and all kinds of storylines throughout the week. We do Ashton Genty talk. We do Ashton Genty radio every single day. So I'm certainly looking forward to continuing that story. I can't wait. These next 2 weeks are going to be fantastic. And after that, we kind of take a deep breath and dive into a little bit of summer. But these next 2 weeks are going to be a blast, BJ. 3 to 6 today, Idaho Sports Talk. John Mallory, Mike Prater, Bob Beeler. Make sure you're listening. 95.3 FM, 1350 AM. You can listen on KTIK.com. You can do as I do and download that KTIK app as well. They have the podcast that's streamed through the Apple Podcast as well. If you can't watch it live, you can listen back on that. Plenty of ways to listen
to Bob and Prater and Johnny. And again, 3 to 6 weekdays. They'll have you covered today with plenty of football talk. As I said, we're heading down to get some interviews. We'll get those posted. Matt Miller, we'll talk about the wide receivers there. And I think Tim Keene as well, talk about the O-line. We'll get both those posted, the video of that to the Bronco Nation News YouTube channel this afternoon. Go read Nathan Carroll's article, 5 Things to Watch in the Spring Game. Number 5 today is his analysis, and look at some of the numbers on the wide receivers and how concerned, if at all, folks should be going into next season with this current group of wide receivers, and do they need to add another receiver in the transfer portal heading into next season. That is available for subscribers at BroncoNationNews.com. $50 gets you a subscription at BNN. $50 using that promo code BNN50 deal. And Mike Prater, you've got a column coming soon.
Yeah, I'm going to get that to you later on today. It's going to be, we're going to kind of celebrate the year of Boise State football and basketball. We all saw that Boise State put out that graphic last week. 38 combined wins between football and basketball, ranks in the top 6 or 7 in the entire country in terms of combined wins for football and basketball. It's been a year of Ashton Genty headlines. It's been a year of Tyson Degenhardt headlines. And in honor of this, and the 38 wins, by the way, the most successful run in the history of Boise State athletics. Never before have they had 38 combined wins in football and basketball. So we're going to celebrate that by going back and looking at the 12 biggest, most relevant, important headlines in the history of Boise State football and basketball. Kind of a little memory lane trip in terms of great headlines, because we're making them now, and we've been making them here at Boise State for a long, long time. And just kind of go back and look at about 4 or 5 basketball headlines, 6 or 7 of the top football headlines. It's been that kind of a year. It's been a monster year. It's been a privilege to be able to cover Boise State this year here at Idaho Sports Talk and at Bronco Nation News. And let's celebrate that by a little flashback. I don't spend a lot of time looking back. I'm not a looking back kind of guy, but it's been fun to kind of go down memory lane and kind of identify the biggest headlines in the history of Boise State football and basketball.
Bronco 130 says, damn, Mike sounds like a kid that is talking to his teacher about his late homework assignment.
You know me, BJ. My columns are always late.
Looking forward to that, and you're doing that in advance of Ashton Genty next week, maybe making one of the biggest headlines ever if he goes higher than number 12, becomes the highest player ever drafted at Boise State. So this is a precursor, hopefully, to that be able to, all subscribers, again, $50, BNN 50 deals, that promo code. You get $20 off your first year, and you can read Mike Prater's column later today or tomorrow. Nathan Carroll's work throughout the week, mine as well. So have a great rest of your day. We'll get those interviews posted to the YouTube channel. Mike, thanks to you for doing this. We'll see you down there at Boise State, and we'll be listening 3 o'clock. Prater in the ball game, Idaho Sports Talk. Have a good rest of your Monday. Jay Tuss and I will talk to you at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Bronco Nation News, BroncoNationNews.com.
Bronco Nation News is presented by our title sponsor, RowPaint.com. Our major sponsors, Idaho Central Credit Union, Taco Bell, Lithia Ford, the Blue and Orange Store, Jackson's, and our contributing sponsors, Signature Roofing, Western Collective, Snake River Pool and Spa, Transportation Compliance Service, Boucher Real Estate, Ridley's Family Markets, Circa Las Vegas, Lean Feast, and Timberstone Golf Course.